Cancer, welcome to Get Life 333 Tarot. My name is Jackie. Thanks so much for joining me. This is going to be a spread that's going to cover the last 2 weeks of March. So that will be the week of the 17th to the 23rd, and then the 24th to the 31st will be the second week. Yeah, so while I'm shuffling, I want you guys to ask yourselves a question that would require a yes/no answer, okay? It would be preferable if you would be able to ask it out loud, but if you're in a crowded train or a crowded room, I totally get you not wanting to be perceived as a psycho. So you can say it to yourself, but please repeat the question 3 times, and it would be one that would require a yes/no answer. I'm going to pull a card for that. We're going to check that out at the end of the reading. Okay. So ask your question, and I'm going to pull the cards. We're going to flip your yes/no question at the end. Okay. 10 of Pentacles, that's a sweet way to start out. Woohoo! Okay. Page of Swords. Justice first. Okay. Alright, we have a story here. Alright, so let's get to it. Alright, first of all, I just want to say heads up, these energies can be vice versa. All right, you have to understand energy is fluid, and if you and your partner are involved, even if you're broken up, you're still sharing the same energy field, right? So I just wanted to preface it with that. Okay, so let's get into this. So 10 of Pentacles. So the week starts out fabulous. You know, this indicates your relationship becoming more committed, and definitely indicates you becoming reunited with someone maybe who you've been displaced from or distanced from. And you and your partner are going to feel very on the same page, you know, which is nice right now. And this could also mean money coming in, right? Because it is the Pentacles, so it's kind of like the literal understanding, so I should just throw that out there. But to me, this indicates an energy of maturity, you know, like the kind that's gained through experience and planning is definitely happening at this point. So if you guys have reunited, Cancer, you're probably opening up conversations now about, you know, what are you guys going to do? What is all of that going to look like, right? Yeah, you know, you have to talk about, you know, what happened, and at least in a healthy way, in a loving way. And, you know, I am getting initially, anyway, that you guys are very much on the same page. Yeah, but then we go into the 9 of Wands reverse. So these conversations regarding your experiences together, you know, like what happened, you know, you guys have to talk about where you're going. This energy indicates that you're feeling like your ideas and your feelings aren't really being heard, and you're frustrated because you really do feel like you're trying so hard to be fair and reasonable, but they're not really hearing you, or at least that's how you're perceiving it. And your partner will just respond very defensively because they'll feel that, you know, in a way, like, I'm getting like almost like you're violating their boundaries is what this indicates, you know, making them feel uncomfortable. Now, this in particular, when this is reversed, this can absolutely be vice versa. This might be your partner feeling this way about you, but whatever. However the energy applies, it makes the situation kind of unmotivating to want to be in. It's like you start out so great, but then you have the conversations, and I feel like you guys are looking at each other and going, oh my God, maybe it didn't change that much. Maybe those issues are still going to be alive in the relationship, you know? And then we have the Strength reverse. So by the end of the week, you actually become all about avoiding the conflict, and any decision making at this point you just don't want to deal with, you know? You're going to have a tendency to ignore any instincts that might ultimately serve you, you know, your highest good, just because you're just so scared of the conflict that if your partner is trying to approach you for conversation, or you're trying to approach them, but, you know, somebody's ignoring the other one. And when I say ignore, I don't mean I don't mean they go like full block mode. I mean like they're ignoring you for a couple of days, or you're ignoring them for a couple of days, or you're just taking a little bit of a time out away from this. But this is the thing. Like, you can't do that, because you have to remember, whatever you resist persists. So if something happened in these conversations about you guys getting back together, you're going to have the conversation. You know, you have to have it. So, you know, the advice here is to face the discomfort, because the confrontation that you have regarding this is still going to be easier than dealing with the mental exhaustion of avoiding it. You know, because sometimes when we avoid things, it's more treacherous for our mind than anything, right? Because then we play things out 12 million ways, and, you know, that's where the ruminating starts. Or, you know, if you really want to avoid everything, you're going to go out and start self-medicating. You're going to do something stupid. Or they might be doing that. So the bottom line here is, you know, you have this beautiful beginning of the week, and so you had some conflict, this temporary energy. You know, so you got to talk about it. So don't avoid it. Don't avoid it. I know you guys you do not like confrontation. I totally get it. I'm a Cancer Sun and a Cancer Venus. I totally get it. I'm with you. But you have to just face it. And then we go into the next week with Page of Swords reverse. So you go into the week of the 24th, you're going to be hearing some weird, messed up gossip, slanderous in fact. And the person spreading it doesn't care that they're spreading these lies and misinformation. And I'm getting a feeling that this could very well be your partner. If you guys did not handle this well, this could be your partner, or it could be a close friend of theirs or a family member. But somebody close to your relationship is saying something that's borderline slanderous, you know, at best misinformation, you know. And this is the very frustrating for you. Very frustrating. And then we go into the Justice reverse. So you almost even feel like life, for some reason, all of a sudden, like in the middle of that second week, is like out of balance. You know, it's just everything feels a little wonky right now. Dishonesty is happening for sure. And you're going to be treated unfairly is what this indicates, you know. But you know, it still is the Justice card, okay? So you're going to feel like you're not able to get your side of the story, your truth out easily. But if you know you're right, you're going to need to find your voice and stay strong to your values and what you know is the truth. And you're going to have to stand up for yourself. No question. Do not avoid don't avoid anything the last 2 weeks. You know what? You should never avoid anything during Mercury retrograde anyway, because everything will become exponentially worse when it comes to especially communication if you ignore and avoid and procrastinate and put off, because the narratives are going to be built around that. Most of the stuff's not going to be true. It's not worth it, guys. You know, it's really not worth it. And then we have the Devil in reverse. So the decision you will need to make at this point will be easier to make than you realize, and you will need to make one. You know, this indicates a need to make a move. So to me, I'm getting this can mean two things. That you communicate this issue, that whatever, you know, happened here, okay, that developed between the two of you. But you have to address it in a way where you're being very firm in your stance, and you're doing it in a way that's sort of with an ultimatum, a healthy ultimatum. Giving a healthy time frame in your mind. I don't recommend giving that time frame in your mind to your partner. In other words, let's say something went on and you guys got back together and you're trying to grow your feet back as a couple, but you're just having this stupid roadblock or whatever. But they're saying they want to work it, but then they don't feel like you're being agreeable. And then they're saying things that really aren't true. And it ends up being this back forth. And you're sitting there thinking, did anything change? I don't know. Did there? You know, if you have the conversation and they say, look, you know, I'm sorry I acted defensively, you know, there was a misunderstanding here or whatever, let's give it a shot. In your mind, you have to give it a time frame, Cancer. You can't keep revisiting something on a hamster wheel, because this discord indicates to me that this revisiting of the relationship is not as clean a slate as it was initially presented in the beginning of this 2-week period. There does indicate there's leftover toxicity here. So you really need to figure out, what you're willing to put up with moving forward. And that's a very individual thing. I mean, no one can tell you that, right? Or this could mean it's time for you to go. You tried. You did. You tried, and you're seeing that it's right back to the same old bullshit, and you're just not willing to go through back to square one again. You just don't want to put yourself through that again. Because I do sense that you did do a certain level of healing, and now to be pulled back to that place, you may be feeling that's not the right thing for you. And it would be very understandable if you felt that way. But again, listen, this being a general read, you got to see, what your partner, what is your partner saying? If they're just being really immature and just very toxic and bitter in their approach, maybe because they feel like you're not agreeing with everything, or it's, yeah, you're going to have to address it how you see fit, okay? And now for the answer to your yes/no question. 10 of Cups, ultimate happiness. That would be a yes card, okay? So whatever your question is, the answer is yes. Okay, so if it had to do with your relationship, then chances are when we were talking about this devil in reverse, it would be the first option I mentioned, where you're being communicative and shooting straight from the hip and to your partner, and you want to approach everything from a very fair and balanced way. Enough of the bullshit. And the energy here does indicate, that chances are really good for you guys to ultimately eventually work it out. But I feel like this is going to be a little bit of work for you guys, to get to that space. Because you have the want. You definitely do. But you just can't seem to figure out your stuff. And, every story is going to be a little different. Okay, Cancer, that's what I have for you today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Take care. See you next time. Bye-bye.